What's up, YouTube? It's Duke, back here from sportsgamers.com, and in today's Madden 22 tip video, I'm going to break down a new unstoppable offensive formation that was added into Madden 22. This formation is literally a cheat code. You can beat any defense very easily with it, and like I said, it is something new that not too many people have seen or even used, so it's definitely going to be something that you can use to beat any defense, man, zone, blitz, whatever. And I'm going to show you guys how to do that in this video. So I'm going to be looking at this gun split twins. You can find it in the Panthers offensive playbook. So the thing about this formation is, you have two running backs. So I like to make sure that I make sure I use a dual HB package to get both running backs in the game and not a fullback. Very important. I definitely don't want my fullback, in the game. You definitely, if you guys can look at the depth chart of the team you use, if you want, you can just go ahead and actually put one of your running backs in the game as fullback. So like with the Falcons, I'm going to go ahead and put Patterson in the game. He's definitely going to be much better receiving out of the backfield. The other thing I want to mention is that I would make sure your best receiver in this formation is actually in the slot. So for us, that's going to be on the Falcons, Ridley. I'm going to go ahead and move him into the slot position and sub out Gage to the outside. So that's really all we need to do with the subs. Pretty self-explanatory. And the play I want to look at is this PAF slide. So I want to start going up against kind of like the meta people are running right now, this nickel 2-4-5 odd, pinch 2. It's essentially a cover 2 blitz. So before I get into the setup, I do want to remind you guys that I do free Madden 22 tips, gameplays, and news on a daily basis on my YouTube channel. So if you enjoy my content, make sure you subscribe, like the video, drop a comment. If we can get to 250 likes on this video, I will post another money play breakdown from this formation to build a little scheme. Also, if you guys want to get better at Madden 22, make sure to check out sportsgamers.com. That is where I post all my premium Madden 22 tips and ebooks. I do 4 to 6 weekly tips in the Madden Vault premium style. I have offensive and defensive schemes and ebook for sales. And I have current gen and next gen content available as well. With all that said, the setup on this play is super simple. I'm just going to put both of my running backs on out routes out of the backfield. Out routes to running backs this year are quite possibly the most annoying, effective route in the game. They are super hard to guard, whether you're man or zone, especially if you have the running back ability for your receiving back. Right now, if you play MUT, a lot of people are using that Patterson. Reggie Bush is still really good. There's a few different good options, but yeah, that's what I would look at. So with this play, your first reads will always be the flats to the outside of the backfield. Though, if those are covered, you will have a crosshair, shallow crosshair tight end, and this kind of deeper post route to your slot receiver. Now, this route to your slot receiver is really crucial because it's a little bit different than most posts, crosshairs, whatever you want to call it. It will break quickly over the middle, that you can throw that as a quick dot, but it will keep running it all the way across the field, so you can throw it late on the sideline and pretty much gets over any zone drop and it beats man 2. And then this route to Gage is actually super glitchy because, especially against cover 2s, you can throw it on the sideline because look, it's like a weird fade type route that breaks not just up to the sideline as well. So let's just take a look at the reads here. So you guys can see here, Gage's route, it's just naked on the sideline against this cover 2. Now, even if you had, first of all, keep in mind, I have the ball in the middle of the field. If I was on a hash and I put my receivers on the wide side, this would have even more room to work. But take a look at how this route is just so unique. Yes, it goes straight up field, almost as if it's a streak or a fade. But then it breaks off to the sideline, and the safety just has no way to get here as we're able to get this nice little completion on the sideline. Safety's not going to be able to recover it. Now, that is something I know I can do if I see cover 2. I can pretty much do that at will. But really, what I'm mainly looking at is the ability to hit these running backs out of the backfield. Now, obviously, you only want to do it if they are dropping further off, but you can still do it even in a situation like that where it's not the most room to work with. easy yardage out of the backfield for your throw and catch. Very, very simple. Now, what's going to end up happening is people are probably going to zone drop you or maybe play hard flats. Hard flats after this patch are a lot better. So if they're blitzing you, watch out for that, because then all you have to do is just read. You guys can see how that post splits the seam. Now, maybe they might take their user and try to defend the post or the flat. And if you see them kind of bailing off that tight end, you can just throw that tight end in there for some very, very easy yardage. But really, guys, I definitely don't want you to sleep on this route to the sideline to gauge. It is such an explosive play. As soon as it just passes up this cloud, I mean, you can get a touchdown off of it just like that. You know, the first time I did it, I just had a possession, or basically like a possession gets from the sideline because I didn't get the best ball. But if you have, especially if you're using a quarterback with high throw power, maybe gunslinger, this is definitely a throw that you can get for a touchdown against cover 2, because it just fades away from the safety to the sideline once it passes the flat. Because remember, the flat does even have, like, it does have responsibility with the running back and the tight end too, so it can't even drop that far unless they zone drop it, and it's just going to be an easy throw. Now, if they do zone drop it, remember, all you have to do at that point is just dump it off to either the tight end or one of the running backs out of the backfield. But this is just such an easy bomb against cover 2. As you guys can see here, I'm going to show you guys when you want to release it really quick, just so you guys can get a better look at it from the quarterback perspective. But really, all I'm doing is once I see a pass up the flat, when we zoom out, I basically throw a ball pass up into the sideline. So here I threw it up and to the left, away from the safety. So you guys can see it attacks cover 2 extremely well. Even if they blitz you, your reads are very fast. Let's take a look at someone just playing standard cover 3 style defense. Doesn't really matter the formation at all, but you know, the cover 3 is, in my opinion, broke right now, but you know, you will still see it online. So let's take a look at how it works. So again, no matter the coverage, you always do want to look at your running backs at the backfield first, because these little out routes are super annoying. They're going to basically set the tone for what the defense has to defend. Once they realize, like, hey, if I don't have a hard flat out here on both sides of the field, the running back is just going to kill me every play. That makes them have to use hard flats. So at that point, they really have no choice but to play a hard flat, and at the same time, the only way they'll be able to defend deeper down the sideline is if they double Mabel, which in that case, you're going to have the middle of the field open because the user's not going to be able to stop the tight end and the deeper cross to Ridley if they are doing a double Mabel type situation. As you guys can see, you can throw that route to Ridley really quick over the middle, but the thing I do want to show you guys is if they try to maybe only rush 2 or 3 at you and just drop everybody back in coverage like you might see from Mike Blitz 3, I want you guys to watch the route to Ridley, how you can throw it late on the sideline. So take a look at this. So again, it's the same setup for us, but watch Ridley's route. If you have enough time and they're only just rushing a couple guys at you, see how it just runs by all the zones? That's just such an easy dot, because as you guys know, deep zones are just not, they don't aggressively play the ball. So even though we don't have a streak over there, it doesn't really matter. Now, if I knew they weren't playing... Now, first of all, another thing I want to mention about this is if you have this outside receiver right here that's fast and they press you, I don't care if they're in cover 3, cover 4, man. If they press this route and you have a fast receiver, every play you have a chance for a touchdown on this route because it's that glitchy. However, obviously I don't have a super fast receiver for this video to even really show that, but I do want to say if you're in MUT with a fast receiver, or just use regs with a fast receiver and they press you, it's a potential touchdown every play. Now, I don't want to say it's guaranteed or anything, but it's definitely there. So you would definitely want to look at that to see if your man wins deep. But as you guys can see, that this route, it's going to get over any zone drop there is. They have to user it, and you can throw it on the sideline like this for an easy dot. So that's there too. The other thing is man coverage. So you might say to yourself, well, what if they just man everybody up, right? Well, that might be a decent idea, except for the fact that, first of all, Ridley and the tight end will beat man, and both running backs out of the backfield will beat man too. And then if you don't have a safety over the top, Gage's route might be a touchdown even with a safety over the top if you have a fast receiver. But if you don't have a safety over the top, it's definitely going to be a touchdown. So man coverage, while you might think, well, it might be a better idea, it's actually a worse idea to me than zone. So as you guys see there, both of the running backs just easily beat their man. And realize, I don't have any abilities on these running backs. if you play MUT, most people do like to use abilities on their running backs. And I mean, I'm not here, but you can imagine, look how open this guy is. Just a really bad pass by Matt Ryan. Matt Ryan needs to retire. I guess he's a scrub now. But yeah, if you put abilities on your running backs for receiving on the backfield, these routes are absurd. I mean, they still get open even without them, as you guys can see. But out routes to the running backs out of the backfield might be the hardest route to defend in this year's game, in my opinion. They just beat everything. But anyways, let's look at Ridley's route one more time. Hopefully this time we get a better throw. As you guys can see, just going to get wide open. Focus on Ridley's route and the tight end route against man coverage real quick before we end the video. Both of these routes do a good job of beating man. The tight end is a little bit quicker, so if you are getting a little bit of pressure, you can definitely throw the tight end for a nice gain. It goes a little bit deeper downfield than the running back, so it's a nice route that should get you a little bit more yards than the running back will. But the running back should always be your first read regardless. Now, maybe they play man and they drop guys in the flat to maybe try to, get a little bit, take away the running backs, and then maybe they just use the tight end. But Ridley's route is going to kill man too, as you guys can see. Just wait for it to kind of cross the safety up, and you could potentially rack this and score a touchdown if you can turn upfield. If not, it's at least going to be a huge gain. So we have 4 routes on this play that beat man every time. 2 in the flat, 1 shallow cross, and 1 deeper type cross. So there's really no way man coverage is going to work. And the thing is, this play forces you to keep the safeties over the top, so it's not like you can just play man and maybe have like 2 purples by the safety zone dropped. Because even though, like I said, Gage is not that type of receiver to really be using on this route anyways, but if there's a fast receiver here, I mean, you guys can kind of see, even though Gage isn't fast, the route itself gets separation. If there's no safety over the top, this is probably a touchdown with a receiver even a little bit faster. Even with Gage, I could probably complete this, but I don't know if I'd score a touchdown. But you guys can see, the safety is not even in the best position. So like I said, if Gage was not Gage and it was a faster receiver, even with the safety deep, this might be a touchdown. So this is a route you got to account for. It's very, very unique. And overall, I mean, every route on this play is a weapon against pretty much every defense, which is super rare. Most plays in the game, they have a couple, one or two, 3 routes, maybe 1 to 3 routes that you would focus on per coverage. But to have a play that has 5 routes that could get open against every coverage you're talking about, you don't see that too often. So that's why I think this formation is so unique and so effective. Definitely something I'd recommend taking a look at. Until next time, it's Duke, and I'm out of here.